According to claims, DNR, EPA, and MoDOT affirmed that they were in support of the smelter. Have you seen anything in writing from any of those three to substantiate that claim?
To substantiate they're on board with the smelter?
Yes, that they are in support of the smelter, on board with the smelter.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor?
Well, hold on a second.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yeah, just want to let you know, you guys do have a letter from MoDOT that says that they would provide access, easement access for the pipeline issues. So yes, there is something that exists, so.
But does it say that they are on board with the project or that they will provide easement access?
It says they'll provide easement access.
Man, we are still in due diligence. We have a long way to go as far as going after state agencies. I've said this before. We've had the state agencies here. We've had Mr. Casey here. We've had Melinda Harris here. We've had Mr. McKenna here. We have a long way to go through the due diligence, and then even after that, as far as the permitting process, through the DNR and through the EPA and through MoDOT. I can't sit here and guarantee you that every individual is on board as far as state agencies.
But that's exactly what was said in the September 5th meeting, and that's my point. Misleading information was presented.
I'm not misleading when I tell you that I have Mr. McKenna, Mr. Casey.
Are you saying Ryan McKenna or Bill McKenna?
Ryan.
Okay, you might want to clarify that.
I said a while ago, the young Ryan McKenna, I had Mr. Casey, I had Melinda Harris, and numerous of people here from the EPA, from the DNR, the Department of Economic Development, and they were excited about it.
Well, here's
when we know coal was going to be used. Did not know that. So how can you be excited about it?
Do what, ma'am?
Ron Casey personally told me he did not know that coal was going to be used for this company that's coming in.
That's fair.
Nobody knows nothing. It's unlawful for a public agency to endorse a private business. And everybody that we called at DNR and EPA, and who Bill talked at MoDOT, all of them said no. They have not issued any kind of statement that they were on board. Now, another thing, after being repeatedly told that no one knew of any plans for the Bradley Farm, now we hear about a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week component of the smelter operation that will be in direct eyesight, airflow, and hearing of the Crystal City Elementary School, not to mention many of the homes in Crystal City. If you stand on the running track around the Crystal City football field, you are just feet away from where these trail tracks would be. If you stand on the Crystal City playground of the elementary school, you can see the rail yard without any trees or anything in the way. This is a consistent problem where the city just doesn't know. And here tonight, we're still getting conflicting information. Several council members are saying different things. And Mr. Kennedy isn't even saying the full information. Here's the problem. We're running out of time. You're getting ready to sign this deal. We don't have another council meeting before now and when the deal is supposed to sign. So is there going to be, like I asked again at the previous meeting, is there going to be a public meeting where the citizens can come and get straight information?
I'm working on that right now, ma'am.
Will that be before the deal closes?
Yes, ma'am.
We do appreciate that. The rail cars on the conveyor belt and the truck transfer station, are they going to be covered or not?
Ma'am, you're asking me questions I do not know.
Mr. Kennedy, do you know?
We don't know. You should want to know that.
Okay, here's why you want to know. Because if they're being dumped onto barges, there's going to be a lot of particulate matter flying around. That is going to be blowing directly onto our kids' recess playground. It's going to be blowing directly into the kids' faces that are running around the track and trying to breathe while they're running. And it's going to be blowing directly onto the football field. and directly into people's windows? These are questions that you need to ask, which is why you need to slow down, take a look at all the ramifications before you move forward. Please.
And ma'am, I think those questions will be answered once the permitting process is
The permit process is too late, that's the point.
Well, no, it's not either.
After the deal is done, what can we do?
They have to, believe me, well, no, you won't either, but I put enough stock in our Department of Natural Resources, in our EPA.
We had a representative, there is a representative from DNR, representative who deals with DNR policies and regulations all the time. The Herculaneum plant in the last 30 years has only met the DNR regulations 3 of those years. They are still in operation. DNR does not have the power to suddenly fix the problem. All they do is try to regulate it and mediate the problems afterwards. They are not regulatory beforehand.
Bill runs a very different situation than this one. They existed long before the EPA and the DNR, and I promise you they'll be there probably after those organizations turn into something else.
The other question I have is, what is the biomass to be used in this reduction process? Because this is really important, because biomass is required in order to be mixed in with the coal in this new process. That means that there is some organic material of some kind. Rubber tires is one of the suggestions that's mixed in with the coal in order to burn in this Technor type of plant. So what is the biomass that's going to be used?
I don't know what the biomass is going to be used, ma'am.
Precisely my point. This is an issue.
You don't either.
How can you sign
That's exactly the point.
when you don't know? How can you sign it
Mr.
when
Kennedy,
you
do
do
you know
not
what your
know?
biomass is going to be used in the Technor process?
God.
I don't know where you get your information. There's no
Give us
biomass
some.
required
On the-
other than coal.
Give us some
There's
information.
none
man.
required.
He just stated there's no biomass required.
This is the definition of the Technor process. It is done by the Daniela Chorus, which is information that we had received through our public record documents. And actually at the top it says from the Thurman Law Firm. Okay? So this is where I'm getting my information, public record information. And it says, is this Technor process, which is what Mr. Kennedy has said on September 5th. We've done a lot of research about the Technor process. In it, it says that there is coal and a biomass product. Because in the iron, I could do the science for you, but basically you have iron and you have to mix something in with it in order to get the carbon. You have to take carbon in order to be able to strip off the oxygen so that you end up with just the iron. So you need some kind of carbon. So you can use wood chips, you can use tires, shredded tires, you can use grain. So my question, now we all of a sudden have this barge port and this conveyor belt loop. So my question is, what is the biomass that's used into it? Because if you use 100% coal, actually the coke is one of the other biomasses that you can use, but coke is very expensive. And so the whole reason why this Technor process is even being used is because it makes it so much cheaper to produce the steel, and it can produce it in half the amount of time, because you add the biomass into it. Which gets me to the original question. What is the biomass?
I do not know what the biomass is going to be, ma'am. Without it being engineered, I don't know.
Okay, well here's my question. If Mr. Kennedy is the one who's in charge of this billion-dollar deal, and he doesn't know what the biomass is, that's a problem. That's a good reason to
It's not
stop.
really a problem until you get it engineered.